Okay, so I've done my brows, my complexion. I'm gonna start with Bedroom Black. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Eye Kohl. It comes with a blender tip, and I personally love it to map out my eyes. As you can see, I have hooded eyes and very flat eyes, and so I'm gonna start on the bottom lash line, and I'm gonna go pretty thick, from thick to thin. I'm also gonna continue that line. I'm not afraid to go dramatic here. A little Cleopatra action. What's great about the Rock N Kohl is that it gives you a whole lot of playtime, and it's soft enough, and the waxes are fantastic to really allow you to tightline accurately. And for those of you who are like me and have dry eye, this stuff feels so good. Main thing is you need to set this puppy. If you don't set it, it's gonna shift. But you see what I've done is done a little bit more in here. And then now I'm going to blend it out a little bit with that tip, just on the edges. I don't want to sacrifice the shape. Just giving you a snippet on how I blend this guy out. And then after this, I set it with a powder. So I'm sure after blending a kohl, a lot of times you're feeling a little messy. Get a clean synthetic brush, and what you want to do is blend out those edges. This is going to help you create a nice base for the rest of your shadow. I just get my clean brush and just go back and forth very lightly. If you're heavy-handed, balance one of your hands on your shoulder and use a little leverage here to really get some beautiful blending going. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna primarily use my liner as a shadow, so that everything else goes on quicker. Like, this is very wearable, even as it is now. So this is very important. If you have a waterproofing powder, any dry setting powder will work. Now, if you have dry eyes, be careful not to apply too much. Here I am using the Ilia powder and really working it into the lash line, into that kohl. What I want to do is create a waterproofing barrier. I love invisible powders because there's no color to change, and I go pretty generous in the areas that tend to crease. Usually for me it's the outer eye here, and so I go in, and also in the inner eye. I'm using a natural brush because I want to get a decent blend. And let's work on the shadow. Today's look is the rock chick, so I like to start now with the outer corner of the eye, blending everything into the eyeliner. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Rock N Roll palette. Gives you the smokiest eye ever. You see that color deposit? Using a high quality shadow is so important, because this way you get there faster and don't have to worry about fixing things up. So I am just layering a tiny bit of the product. This is a natural hair brush, and it's actually a watercolor brush, and it's old, can't you tell? The paint's coming off, but I love her so much. She's taken a beating and kept on ticking. I always find a use for all my brushes. Because I already have laid down the eye pencil, and I've blended it and set it with the powder, everything glides on. There's no stickiness. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, because I have very flat eyes, I like to go in with a smudger brush. This is the one from Charlotte Tilbury, and I like to really get into that inner corner and smoke it out, because when I add the highlight, I'm going to get more dimension. And because I don't really have a bridge, my eyes tend to look a little farther apart than most people, so this is going to create a little bit of that halo effect. And to really play with that, I'm going to go in with the mid-tone on the outer third of the eye. And because this has a little bit of shimmer, it's super easy to blend, continuing that halo eye effect. And it's now time for some magical highlights. I've laid down the foundation. So what I want to do is mix these two. Because the light gray has a primer, I always use the light gray first. And all I do is tap it in. The primer is going to make everything sit down nicely. And we thought it was going to look really dark, right? But it's not. Now I'm getting that smudger brush that has that dark gray and really working that shadow into my skin and creating that shape. Just the next step is going back with the liner to really get that definition. So now I'm sandwiching some bedroom black. I'm making sure that pencil is sharpened. Now that I have the generic shape of my makeup, this is where I literally let that pencil marinate before I blend to get that deep, sexy, dark, smoky eye that everyone wants. I'm using the edge of that pencil. You see how smooth these waxes are? Now for a hooded eye, you don't want to just follow the lower lid. You want to work the depth a little bit above, like that. And then you want to continue that V. It's almost like you're emphasizing the shape and not the line. This pencil is very rich, so you can see how much depth I can create with this. Continuing the line right into the lash line, into the base of the lashes. See the difference in the color saturation when I turn? And let's finish my makeup and see how it comes out. So this is the final look. Let me know what you think. Now I'm ready for work. Just gotta get dressed. Thanks for watching.